everyone at Cheryl from Teaching 2 and 3-year-olds. I'm getting ready to set up my STAR sensory bin, and usually I just share my sensory bins while I'm giving you a tour of the classroom. But I've had quite a few questions lately about how I set up our sensory bins. Now, if you aren't familiar, I do have a more detailed video showing our favorite sensory bin materials and what I look for when I set these up. So I'll drop a link to that in the description. Make sure to watch that video because it's packed with some really good information. But I wanted to show you a little detail about what I was thinking while I was putting together my sensory bin. Now, I will be honest, I usually have a prop that I see somewhere, and that gets me thinking about what I want to do with it. And in this situation, it was these paper mache star boxes. Now, I have these in hearts, I have these in gingerbread, I have these in houses. I love these because they're so durable. We've had some of ours for like 3 years that have gone through all of our preschool classrooms, and they're still holding up really well. So this year I saw the stars and thought, okay, I'm gonna do a star sensory bin. So that's what motivated me to do this. Then I found some wooden stars that were a little bit smaller, and they can just put them inside. So that was the second thing that I found, and I found both of these on Amazon. I'll drop a link in the description like I always do. Then it was time to think about the filler. Now, as I said in my sensory bin video, I like to have a filler that they can scoop and pour, because that is honestly what they love most about the sensory bin. They love to scoop and pour. So what I did was I took some rice and I dyed it yellow. And I like to kind of dye it, I like to use Wilton's food colors because they're vibrant. These are icing gels, and I just put I put the rice into a Ziploc gallon bag, and I don't put this much in, probably more like this much into a bag. And then I get some of the food coloring, in this case the Wilton's, and I usually I take like the end of a spoon and maybe do 3 little scoops. I put it in. You can put a little bit of vinegar in, or you can use rubbing alcohol, or you can use hand sanitizer. And you don't need that much, you just need enough to move everything around. You zip it up, and then you just simply press it all around until it gets evenly covered, and then you lay it out on a cookie sheet that has layered with paper towels, and you let it thoroughly dry. Now, I also put some little macaroni pieces in here because I had them and I wasn't using them, and I thought I'd give some different texture. So that's the first thing, and I'm gonna put that into the sensory bin. So then I have poured it out. I have put it I've put it inside my sensory bin, moved it around a little bit. And one thing I want to mention is you don't have to put a whole lot in here. I can see the floor of this sensory bin. It does not need to be covered because, as I said in my sensory bin video, if there's too much, it makes it way easier for them to spill it outside. So I don't put a whole lot in here. And we've got our base. The next thing is something to scoop and pour. I just found these. I'll put a link in the description. I love bug tongs, and these are some that I haven't seen these before. I think it comes in like a pack of 6. So they can scoop it using these. Or another thing I absolutely love are these plastic scoops, and you can get these. I'm sure that you can get these on Amazon. I've seen them in the kitchen section of other stores, and they can use those to scoop as well. So I just like to make sure that I have some in here. And I always think about multiple children. That's why I've got a variety of different scoops, because we will sometimes have like 6 children up here, maybe 7. I don't limit how many children can be in this area. They usually kind of work it out when they see it's too crowded. But usually there's about 4 to 6, kind of depending. Then I'm going to put our paper mache stars in. Get those going in there. And so I'm just making sure that everything is in the bin, just like that. I spread it out. set it up, and that's really all there is to it. Now, I mentioned this before, but if you go on Pinterest, you will see a lot of really cutesy sensory bins. And I can tell you, maybe it's because I've been teaching for over 20 years, but I look at those and I think those are adorable, but they're not practical. And the longer you teach, the more you can recognize that a lot of those sensory bins are made at home with maybe 1 or 2 children. Whenever I set up a sensory bin, I am thinking about a classroom of children. I am very realistic because I see every single day how they're using it. I am not doing this to be a really pretty thing to look at. I'm making it functional because I want to make sure that they have different textures. I want to make sure that there's different sizes. I want to make sure that there's things that they can transfer. And then of course I like to have the props, and these go with our theme because our theme is Christmas. And so everything ties in together, and that's it. That is really how simple it is to put together a sensory bin. So I know our kiddos are gonna love this star sensory bin because they're gonna love filling these. I know that for a fact. They absolutely are gonna love to fill these stars, and then they have to think about size when they're putting the stars in and closing them with the lid. So much going on. So that's it. Thanks for watching.